Try these moves if you sit all day and your hamstrings are tight, no matter how much you stretch. This exercise improves pelvic control so that the hamstrings no longer have to overstabilize, which helps to reduce hamstring tightness. For this exercise, you're gonna sit tall and hug one knee into your chest. Keep the opposite foot straight and toes pointing up. With this exercise, you wanna be seated tall with your back straight. Try not to lean back and definitely don't hunch. Now you're gonna engage the core, squeeze those abs. Now lift your heel 1 to 2 inches and hold for 1 to 2 seconds. You're gonna do 6 to 8 controlled reps of these per side. It improves active hip flexion while stabilizing the pelvis in neutral. It also increases straight leg raise capacity without lumbar cheating. And it even helps that pinchy feeling that you might feel in front of your leg in the hip flexor area. If bending forward always tightens your hamstrings and back, this one exercise teaches your hips to hinge so that they take the load instead. Stand about 6 to 8 inches in front of a wall. Now you're gonna bend forward with a straight back, pushing your butt out. Your goal is to touch that with the wall. Then you're gonna come back up. You're gonna see that there's a natural bend in the knees here. I'm not forcing this move at all. Do 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. This movement teaches the hips to hinge properly and takes the load off of your hamstrings and lower back. And so this way, bending and lifting stops straining your hamstrings. These 2 drills reset your hamstrings and give you a true foundation for hip hinging. Now we're gonna do this bridge variation that teaches your hamstrings to stabilize the pelvis instead of your lower back. This variation of a bridge is not the same as a glute bridge, so pay close attention. Lie on your back and make sure that your feet are basically hip width apart. Now, this is gonna be very different from a glute bridge. Before we go further, make sure that your lower back is touching the floor. Unlike a standard glute bridge where your heels are very close to your glutes, you're gonna bring your heels all the way down about 16 to 18 inches or so. Now, keeping the same position with the pelvis and that lower back touching the floor, you're gonna press up. You're only gonna come about 3 to 5 inches. That is it. You're not coming all the way up like a standard glute bridge. You're gonna hold this position for about 5 seconds. You should feel this all in the hamstrings. And then you're gonna come right back down. You're gonna do 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. This strengthens the hamstrings in their stabilizing role and reduces strain on that lower back. Standing and walking feel more supported with less tightness behind the legs. This next exercise is gonna rebuild control and stop that guarding response that often happens when you have those tight hamstrings. This is where most hamstring injuries and compensations occur. For this exercise, you're going to need a stability ball. Make sure it's the correct size for your height. Lie down on a mat and make sure that you take that archway by connecting your lower back with the floor. I find it easier if you take the ball and you place it directly in the middle of your legs and then take your feet and just kind of like place your heels on them. This is a move where you have to use a lot of core strength. Yes, this exercise is gonna work the hamstrings, but you also wanna make sure that you're engaging that core, that you're squeezing that core, and that is what's also going to help keep your pelvis stable. Now, in addition, you wanna make sure that your heels are on the ball, not your entire foot. And that is because you don't want your calves to take over in this exercise. From this position, you're gonna keep that neutral pelvis and you're gonna push up. Focus on keeping those hips stable, keeping that pelvis square, and just use the hamstrings to push out. Do 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. This builds hamstring strength and teaches them to lengthen under load, which eliminates chronic tightness. This translates to a much smoother feeling when you're walking uphill, taking the stairs, or lifting heavy objects. For this exercise, grab a dumbbell. This exercise is gonna tie your glute, your hamstring, and your opposite lat together for stability in real life lifting. This is gonna be the working leg, so you're gonna be holding the dumbbell on the opposite side. Now you're gonna shift the weight slightly to this one leg. Now bring the non-working leg back. This is gonna be your starting point. Now you're gonna hip hinge, push your butt out, keeping a slight bend in this knee. At the same time, this leg is gonna be coming up, your torso parallel to the floor. You're gonna bring this dumbbell right around the shin area and then come back up. This whole time, you're gonna make sure that your torso remains square and it's not tilting to the side in any way. Now, if this was too hard for you and you feel like you're losing balance, you can stand by something where you can hold on lightly for support. The key is that you don't wanna be using this to actually pull you in and make the move. So it would look something like this. I'm just lightly placing my hand right here just for support. In addition, you can also place this foot slightly back, making sure that the knees are in line, and you can do it this way. This is called a B stance. For this move, you're gonna do 2 to 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps per side. This movement teaches real-world balance control with single leg hinges. It also integrates single leg balance when you're shifting on one leg to lift your foot up and put on your shoe. Also helps you to stabilize with your hips.